Today is, or tomorrow, excuse me. Tomorrow is the 4th of July, which is a holiday here in the United States where we celebrate our independence. We celebrate our independence. Now, if you're anything like me, you believe or entertain the notion that dissidence is the highest form of patriotism that there is. I do consider myself a patriot because I am a dissident. Some would argue a subversive, because I firmly believe that as a society, we can do a hell of a lot better. I refuse to believe that this is the best we can do. I know we can do better. We have done better, by the way. We have done better in the past. We can do better than this. So I do believe that dissidence is the highest form of patriotism, which I believe I think that's a Thomas Jefferson quote, actually. So, that being said, I always try to have a little bit of a civic component on the 4th of July to the best of my ability. Now, usually I do something of leisure. And one year I went to my girlfriend at the time. We went to her family's lake house. It's just this lake in the middle of nowhere. Really, really fun place. You know, if you got booze and food and fireworks, it's a really, really fun place. And what I did was we sat by the lake. We went swimming. Went out on the boat, and I read the book Civil Disobedience by Thoreau. I try to always read something of a civic nature whenever it's the 4th of July. This year, I'm probably gonna read this book on capitalism, about the dangers of capitalism that was given to me on our last Progressive Comedy Tour. So, my question today, you guys. Are there any particular 4th of Julys where you did something similar? Any 4th of Julys where you had a little bit of a civic component, or just did something really cool? We can take it the light approach. Like, what's something really cool you've done on the 4th of July? Have you ever done anything kind of in protest, or just had a really good time, or had an amazing discussion? Did you ever have a 4th of July where maybe you changed a family member's mind about something? Maybe you and your uncle had a really big heart-to-heart on what's going on. And I don't know why I picked uncle there. I just feel like that's sort of the cliche, right? Everybody has that racist uncle that ruins Thanksgiving, right? Like, that's the cliche. I have a racist uncle, you know. I mean, I grew up in Pennsylvania. I feel like it's inevitable. But anyway, so what are some of the things you guys have done? What are some, and you can take it the civic route if you have something cool to share. If you don't, that's totally okay too. Tomorrow, and what are your guys' plans for tomorrow? We can take this as kind of a broad, fun, open-ended question. If you got something really kind of civic and activist-y, or just booky to share, do so. If not, that's okay too. Don't be afraid to share. Maybe you just had a really good time at a barbecue. Maybe you met the love of your life. Maybe you read a poem and it really inspired somebody. Maybe you played some rock and roll music and it jarred some minds. Maybe you just spent it alone and just called people and caught up with some folks. I know people that do that on Christmas Day. They don't really like the winter holiday. They feel like it's just not a really positive thing, so they just call friends and stuff and family and catch on with everybody. So yeah, I'll turn it over to you guys. Garden Gnome reminds me I gotta read Welcome to the Monkey House. Good, thank you. I do. I shot fireworks out of the back of the restaurant I worked at. That's awesome. I got married. 777 J Plum. That's awesome. I've only been politically active for a couple years, so not yet, Zach says. A. Mars went skydiving. That's pretty cool. Garden Gnome, one of your best friends' birthday is on the 4th. Dwayne, you also grew up in Pennsylvania. Love it. Xander, thank you for the live show in Portland, Ron. It was amazing. Thank you for coming to the live show in Portland. It was absolutely spectacular. I had so much fun both nights. They were amazing. And yeah, thank you. Lucy got some cat treats, and she says thank you to the lovely couple in Portland that gave me some cat treats for Lucy. That was very kind. Y'all know who you are. Lucy appreciates it very much. And yeah, she was stoked. Let's see. I was just going to eat a ton of ribs with my neighbor. Is that civic duty enough for the 4th of July? Sure. Yeah. Have a good time. I'm going to a couple picnics myself. I don't know what else is going to be there. But I'm going to a few picnics. One of my friends is having a shindig in Hollywood. And then I think there's something going on for my girlfriend's work. So we were just going to kind of bounce to a couple different things. And then we were thinking about maybe just going to the beach. You know, me and my girlfriend were thinking we're going to make it simple. We were thinking we're going to hit up a few picnics, say hi to some people, see some people, then maybe go to the beach and just chill out. Plan on working my third side gig to get by. Chris, I'm sorry to hear that, man. That sucks. And yeah, capitalism sucks and the gig economy certainly sucks. And it really sucks that those are the only options we have. Let's see. Going over to my 93-year-old mother's house and having a little barbecue. Sounds nice. Always good family time. Then home to close all the windows and doors to keep my kitties from freaking out too much. Yeah, I wonder how loud it's going to be here. Yeah, Lucy doesn't really... Yeah, she's not really bothered by that stuff too much. So I guess I'm lucky in that regard. Let's see. Why in the name of all that is holy did the Pittsburgh NHL team call themselves the Penguins? It makes no sense, and Penguins are not athletic. Yes, but they can withstand cold, and they stick together, right? Like the Mighty Ducks. Quack. That's all I got. I have no idea why they're called the Penguins. Probably just for alliteration. Problem is now that everything is being called racist. Okay, I have no idea what that has to do with the question, but racism jumped the shark when Morrissey was called racist. Did you hear that he canceled his tour? I did not hear that Morrissey canceled his tour. I will say this, if he did, did he say why? Because I'd be surprised if he canceled the tour because of people calling him racist. I mean, my thoughts on Morrissey, and again, this is coming from someone who likes Morrissey's music. My thoughts on Morrissey is he's a very kind of metaphorical guy. He's a very poetic guy. And I think at times he does not choose his words carefully at all. And in an age of sound bites, he needs to do that. I mean, that's just like, and he'll bitch about it. And I understand where he's coming from. But it's like, dude, you're a celebrity. You're in the public spotlight. You got to know that you need to choose your words carefully. You know, and yeah, I don't think you actually meant to say something hateful about Chinese people. I don't think he intended it that way. But still, it wasn't a cool thing to say or an okay thing to say. And yeah, man, you got to choose your words a little more carefully. I'm sorry. Same with... what was that last, for instance? The last, for instance, where he got in trouble for the Kevin Spacey thing. Now, when you just take that quote by itself, and I know some people don't know what we're talking about, so I don't want to spend too much time on this, but, you know, Krillin, I appreciate your Super Chat contribution, so I'll give you my thoughts on it quick. But when you take that quote by itself, it does not look good. However, Morrissey's claim is that was he was saying a bunch of stuff, and that was just one aside in a bigger statement that he made. In which case, his intention could have been something completely different, right? Like if you just say, like, you get the idea. So, okay, so sounds like Morrissey also jumped the shark. I have no idea. I don't know what this might be in reference to. I'm just going by what I was last cognizant of. So there might have been something that happened recently that I don't know about. So Chuck E. Cheese, let me know if there's something that I'm not aware of. But, you know, the Kevin Spacey thing, Morrissey claimed there was more in that interview than what he said, and they intentionally omitted it because it completely changed the meaning of what he said. And to my knowledge, they did not release those tapes. So the verdict's still out. He's claiming there's more they're not releasing the tapes one way or the other. So it's like, well, if there's not more, wouldn't you want to just prove them wrong and release the tapes? So, yeah, there you go. And as far as Morrissey, Morrissey has said some stuff that have been, interpreted a certain way for years now. So, this is nothing new. Do I think he's racist? I don't think so. I hope not. I really hope not, because I enjoy his music. And I honestly don't think he is. I think he's a guy that does not choose his words carefully, that can be very non-diplomatic when it's something he's passionate about, like animal rights or something like that. So, we live in a soundbite world. But, he doesn't get a pass. He's got to, he's got to be a little more careful, I think. Now, the difference between all that is, as Rosenfeld points out, he's a brilliant lyricist, and I would agree with that. He is a brilliant lyricist. So, glad to hear Lucy liked the food. Yes, thank you once again. She really appreciated it, and thank you very much. All right, so somehow we started on the 4th of July and ended on Morrissey. That's part of the fun of Get Your News On with Ron, you guys. Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.